The Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says it will fight until the end, regardless of support from the international community. This also comes as the leader of Hamas, or one of the leaders of Hamas, has described Israel's post-war plans for Gaza without the group as a delusion.
Gaza is a quagmire of misery. This is Al-Mawasi, one of the so-called safe zones. And as the winter weather sweeps through the camp, children step through the mud to fetch water. Others cook in the open. There's not much food, but at least the fire provides some warmth. The United Nations says the humanitarian catastrophe unfolding here is off the scale, and it's only getting worse. Abir Abu Abadi fears she and her children will not survive.
I can't see a future for Gaza. It's semi-burnt. If this war continues, even if we don't get killed with rockets from the occupiers, we will die from diseases.
The fighting is raging across much of the Strip. These pictures, released by the Israeli military, show close-quarter gun battles across communities that are now simply wastelands.
Israel's ground offensive inside Gaza appears to be intensifying, and it says there could be months of fighting ahead before it reaches its objectives. But there are signs time could be running out. Calls for a ceasefire are growing louder, and even its closest ally, the United States, is warning Israel that it's losing support as the humanitarian suffering worsens and the casualties continue to rise.
The trauma and pain of October the 7th is raw, and the Israeli government says international pressure will not stop the war. What to do when the fighting ends is still an unanswered question. But in this interview with Sky News, the Israeli ambassador to the UK ruled out any future Palestinian state.
I think it's about time for the world to realize the Oslo paradigm failed on the 7th of October, and we need to build a new one. And in order to build a new one...
Does that new one include the Palestinians living in a state of their own? Is that what it includes?
I think the biggest question is what type of Palestinians are on the other side. This is what Israel realized on the 7th of October. The answer is absolutely no.
So the two-state solution is dead?
Why are you obsessed with a formula that never worked, that created these radical people in the other side? Why are you obsessed with that?
Israel denies America's assertion that its bombing campaign is indiscriminate. But the number of civilians being killed in Gaza and the damage here tells another story. The sharp words from the US also appear to show that a rift has now opened with Washington, and real pressure to end this war has begun.